house we're in today, which is the Townsend house, and it's owned by James and Sally Townsend. They have 4 children, Maddie, Sadie, James, and Bertha. But there's also other nonfiction stories like World War II. Back to the Townsends. The Townsend house was built in 1895. This is the porch of the Townsend house. The Townsend house was the first black family to move in the Claremont. And that's a very big deal because it's the first ever. And now, these are the steps of the Townsend house. And you can see the porch of the Townsend house here and even in front. And there, you can see a full view of the Townsend house. So, let's take a walk. Oh, there's an outhouse.
Home of Mr. and Mrs. Alexander Kern. They were in business in Claremont, and this home was built on Montrose Street and moved to this historic village when the village was developed. The dining room is attached to the kitchen. Here again, the original kitchen was probably detached from the main part of the house, but this is showing the kitchen attached to the main part of the house. This was their version of running water. You went to the pump in the backyard, filled your bucket, and ran into the kitchen. So you had running water. This is the ice box. There was no electricity, so the food was kept cold by a block of ice that was put in the top of the refrigerator, and as you know, the cold air goes down, and that's where the food was kept in the lower part. This room is set up for a music room, but I'm sure that it was originally a bedroom. Upstairs, we have regular bedrooms. To the left is the bedroom that was probably used for the children. To the right is another small bedroom. And this was probably the master bedroom, larger than the others, of course. I don't know if this actual furniture belonged to the Kern family, but it is the style of furniture that would have been used in this home. Notice the wallpaper. the same style of furniture. Here we have a foot warmer. Hot coals were put inside this pan, and it was put in the bed at your feet to keep your feet warm. Here we have another small bedroom, which was probably a child's bedroom. And this is a doll house that someone contributed to be a part of this home. You can see that there is considerable difference between the Townsend house and the Kern house. The Townsend house is very similar to the old-fashioned Florida house. This house is built like the homes that the Kerns remembered from New Jersey. So this is a much different style from the Townsend house. Of the schoolhouse, Clermont's first schoolhouse. It served 12 students. I'm going to push this button because this gives us a brief history.
Using a picture taken in 1881 as our guide, this is our attempt to build a replica of Clermont's first school, a hunting cabin which belonged to the Herring Hooks family. This cabin was located near Jack's Lake in the vicinity of the present intersection of highways 50 and 27. Mrs. Thomas J. Hooks was the first Clermont school teacher, having come here from Atlanta with her husband. She taught 12 students for a term of 4 or 5 months. Her pay was by contribution from the parents. The next year, the school was taken over by the county, and Mrs. Hooks was paid a salary of $20 a month. A one-room schoolhouse was built in the late 1880s on Broome Street, on the site where the Clermont Women's Club building now stands.
Of this building in 1914, $600, and the floor is original. The floor is heart of yellow pine, beautiful. We have here a scale model of what this building looked like when it served as Clermont's public library. This is a part of the radio collection that belongs to Mr. Larry Resco. When he comes in, he turns them on and lets us listen. They are battery powered and they all work. This is information about the history of the Citrus Tower. In this section, we have numerous books that people are invited to use for doing their own research about Clermont and early Lake County. In this corner, we have information about our citrus industry history. There was a time when we had a citrus packing house here on the edge of the lake. The company that owned the packing house was American Fruit Growers, and their label was the Blue Goose. So this was called the Blue Goose Packing House. That building burned in 1994. was not rebuilt because by that time we were into frozen concentrate. This is the way it looked inside the packing house. And this is a picture of the people who worked in the packing house. We are attempting to identify as many of those people as possible. You see, it is dated April 30th, 1952. We have a chart going here, and we're hoping to be able to identify a number of those people. This is the drawing of the town in France that Clermont, Florida is named for. This gentleman, Mr. Rotnowski, was the surveyor who surveyed the land that is now Clermont, Florida, for the very first time. He influenced the naming of Clermont, Florida for his hometown in France. His hometown in France is hyphenated Clermont-Ferrand, France. But that is the town in France that Clermont, Florida is named for through the influence of Mr. Rotnowski. The pictures and spaces for pictures around the collage are the people who have been the mayor of Clermont. Our first mayor was elected in 1891, and this is Mrs. Ash, our first lady mayor, who is our current mayor. We're still searching for pictures of some of the mayors. Here we have a picture of bronze busts of the people who had to do with the development of the polio vaccine. These bronze busts are on display in Warm Springs, Georgia, in the Polio Foundation building. Behind you here under glass are the very fragile molds that were used for making these bronze busts. The plaque underneath tells you who it is and what part they had in the development of the vaccine. Here we have a map that shows you where we are located. As you know, we are on a chain of lakes. Lake Louisa is the southernmost lake in our chain, then on up through the river to Lake Minnehaha, then on into Lake Mineola, and Cherry Lake is the northernmost lake in our chain. Some of the connecting waterways are man-made, some of them are natural. There is a river that runs from one lake to another, the Palatlakaha River. Here we have an enlargement of an old postcard from Clermont, Florida from 1891. The only building still left standing that is shown on this is this one in the upper right-hand corner. This is still a beautiful single-family dwelling located at the corner of Osceola and 5th Streets. This is the first building of the Baptist Church. My grandfather had a sawmill. He made the crates that the produce was shipped in. Before citrus became king in this part of Florida, tomatoes was the commercial crop that was raised to ship to the northern markets. This was our very first railroad depot. Later, we had another railroad come through. It was called the Tavares and Gulf, T and G, fondly called Tug and Grunt. This is a hotel that was up on 8th Street. This, if you can imagine, was built as a single-family dwelling. It was a large family by the name of House. So that was the house. When that family was gone, the building was converted into a hotel, and this is the way it looked as the Lakeview Hotel. That building is no longer with us. All right?